Oklahoma's News 4. This is Breaking News.
We're going to interrupt programming briefly to bring you this breaking news. Word of a water rescue going on in the far northwestern metro. Let's go to pilot Mason Dunn and Air Comfort Solutions Chopper 4. My goodness, we are looking at this victim, a woman who appears to be holding on for dear life. Mason, tell us what you know.
Well, guys, right now, look at that picture. I've got chills up here flying. She just went underwater right before we came on the air. She has 3 rescuers here that had thrown her a rope, and they're trying to pull her out of these trees, but the current is so strong. She went underwater, ended up with clinging onto this tree right here. So we don't know if this is fire department personnel or just citizens out here trying to help this lady. This is 178th and Council, guys. So the water, of course, we've been covering it all day, but the water is rushing everywhere. So right now, got a dramatic rescue going on 178th and Council, guys.
Mason, I love your shot. It's nice and close here, but as you look around with your naked eye, oh no, do you see the fire department anywhere around? Oh goodness. Oh, okay. Well, it looks like they have pulled her and they
just pulled her out of the water.
They've got her. All right, Mason, they have got her right now, and her head is above water at this point. Boy, that was some scary moments, as it appeared that they needed to pull her under the water level in order to get a hold of her and get her one step closer to safety. Those gentlemen that you're seeing right there, did they appear to be Oklahoma City firefighters, or do you believe them to be citizens who were trying to help?
I believe they're just citizens. This is 178th and Council, just to the east here. We don't know how this lady ended up in the water. When we first got here, she looked like she had car keys in her mouth. But the first time she went underwater, she lost those, of course. And so thankfully to these 3 bystanders, we think, they just saved her life.
So now as we're piecing this together after the fact, it seems like that man who was out there on the branch where she was had kind of swam the rope out to her and tied it on her out there, and then the other 2 pulled her in. And it looks like he's got a rope around his waist as well. What can you see?
Well, I believe that's what's going on. Now he's stuck, in the tree at this moment, guys. So
well, he's smart enough not to let go at this point. He knows this is not the kind of current or the depth of water that you walk through safely and still have your life at the end of it. So at some point, they're going to have to maybe try and get that rope out to him.
Yes, you can see they're throwing the rope to him right now.
All right.
Of course, it goes underwater.
And that lady is giving the hug of her life right now to that man on the left. I think she's not letting go. There's no chance she's letting go right now. Good night.
This guy out of the trees. I'm going to have to turn here because we're...
He's still hanging on for dear life over there, and we have... That guy's not going to stop trying. I don't think he's going to try and haul that rope out that way one more time.
Yeah, he's telling him to throw it, to the left and let the current carry it over to him, but that you can see right here. So he's it's actually going underwater.
Yeah.
And he can't reach it, so
he's trying to reach a leg out right now, I think, and see if he can hook it on his foot, probably. Okay, the elderly woman and her rescuer seems like they're trying to move a little bit, one step at a time. There's debris flowing through that water, and who knows what else.
The problem here, guys, is this is a hard area to get to. I see a fire truck coming now from the east. So as we're flying right over them, the current is rushing. If he gets let go of that tree, he's going to wind up out in the field to the north here. So
I think he knows better than that. He's hanging on real tight.
Yes, he's hanging on real tight. They just saved this lady's life.
Completely.
It was chilling right before we went on the air. Of course, you saw it when they pulled her underwater. They had tried that once before we went on the air, and it just gave me chills. We were just screaming, "Oh no!" As she was clinging on to the tree. So.
Well, it is so good to see her standing upright.
This other bystander. Yeah, he's hanging on to the tree right now. Of course, you can see the rushing water has a ton of power. So It looks like a young guy, so he's hanging on pretty good here. So all they need to do is get him a rope. I don't know if he can. They're just going to try to do the same thing here. Looks
Well, we
like
know
now
it
you got a
takes-
guy that's.
Okay, here comes rescuer number 4. He looks like was headed into the office. He's got like a long sleeve shirt on. I do not think that is the first responder. I don't think that's the guy from the sheriff's car. Do you? Oh, maybe
He may know this lady.
Maybe a family member. Okay.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Don't know.
He looks to be
But
around
they're
her same age
trying
group.
to walk her to safety here. Of course,
One
where they're
step at a
walking,
time.
guys, is the water is still rushing. You just can't underestimate the power of the water. So we're still here. They're still trying to rescue this other guy that's just saved this lady's life. Of course, you got the fire department just showed up in this huge truck. This is Deer Creek fire. So hopefully they can get out and help get this guy out of the trees.
Whew, they can't get too much closer in that truck. Looks like they're kind of inching their way in. All right, she's on the vehicle now, so she's safe. And yes, you're right. She's going to need some emergency attention. She for sure swallowed down some water. If not during that second attempt,
Yes.
definitely during the first. We have another one of our rescuers still hanging on to the trees. If you're just joining us now on News 4, we have a water rescue underway where an elderly woman was stranded, hanging on for dear life onto one of the branches of that tree while the fast current from this moving flood water was nearly ready to sweep her away when 3 bystanders, 3 innocent rescuers, civilians, stopped and they were able to throw a rope to her. Oh, good. Now one of our rescuers, we are watching his rescue attempt. He needs to hang on for dear life while his fellow rescuer pulls him back. Here we go.
Yeah, just take a deep breath.
All right,
and hopefully
all right.
he can get to land. There he goes.
He's up. How about it? Wow.
I hear a lot of people clapping. I know I would be if my hands weren't busy.
Mhm.
Right now, guys. So, pretty dramatic rescue here. Pretty chilling, actually, as this lady actually went underwater and was clinging on to life. These 3 bystanders just saved her life. So,
Well, we know here in Oklahoma you
Deer
kind of
Creek Rescue pulling up and helping out.
you kind of use whatever you got on hand when someone needs rescuing, and in this case, Mason, they were using a tow rope that you would usually use to tow a vehicle out and jumper cables tied together to give that tow rope a little bit of weight on the one end in order that these civilians could perform not 1 but 2 life-saving rescues in fast-moving floodwaters here. Deer Creek Fire Department on the scene at the very last minute, but really the heavy lifting of this rescue was done by everyday folks who were driving in this area and saw a woman who was in desperate need of help. Do we have any idea where she came from?
Allie, I do not. Like I said, when we first got here, she was in the trees, and it looked like she had the keys to her car in her mouth as she was clinging on. And when they tried to pull her to safety, she lost those keys, I believe. But she saved her life. So, let the keys go and hang on to the tree. And as you can see, they were able to get her another line and pull her to safety.
I wonder if she had
Again,
been
this is at
stranded in her
100
car.
It could have been. I don't know. She might have been trying to walk through the water and just got swept off the road into the trees. So they actually have her on dry land right now. Thank goodness.
Here we go. She's about to hop out of the cab of that truck and finally be on dry land for the first time. And I wonder how long she was out there. When you flew up on the scene, she was already floating in the floodwaters, huh?
Yes, she was. We saw a lot of cars parked here. When we were arriving, we could see 3 gentlemen with a rope into the trees, and then we could actually see the lady in the, swept off in the trees. So she's probably taking a good deep breath. I'd sure be thanking them 3 bystanders who just saved her life.
Yep. You know what? I think she's going to stay in that car. She's like, what am I going to do anyway? My car's gone. Take a close look at that rope with some jumper cables attached to it. Boy, you can use about anything to save a life, can't you? My goodness.
Yeah, now they're just waving bye to her. Yeah, quite a dramatic scene here. Like I said, when she first went underwater, Steve Johnson and I were just screaming no. And luckily she came back up, hanging on to the trees. So, and she didn't have the keys in her mouth. So, you know, got to do what you got to do. Can't say it enough. Got to thank these 3 bystanders for thinking of it. I didn't notice those were jumper cables, along with the tow rope. So, kudos to them for doing what they had to do to help this lady out.
Good work by all, including yourself, Mason Dunn. Appreciate you and all your hard work yesterday and today. Again, this is the scene in the 7,000 block of Northwest 178th. It's Edmond Road and Edmond out near Council, and the scene live from Air Comfort Solutions. 2 lives now saved by the ingenuity of some Oklahomans on the scene. Don't forget, you can get swept away in 6 inches of flood water. Your car can get swept away in just 12 inches. So when you see that high rising water, just turn your car around and don't get yourself in this type of a predicament. The very latest on News 4 at noon. We'll see you 2 hours from now.